What have they done to the earth? What have they done to our fair sister? They have ravaged and plundered and ripped her, bit her, stuck her with knives in the side of the dawn, tied her with fences and dragged her down. This is an article that I just read in Daily Kos, and it's not really an official Daily Kos article. It's part of this, what they call the community, I guess, and people write articles, and this content is not subject to review by Daily Kos staff prior to publication. So they just publish it and they don't even approve of it. So I don't know. But anyway, I would assume that these are, this is written by Psych USA. Now I don't know whether that's, it's like Vegematic, right? It's one of those stupid things that you do when you're online and you wonder why you ever started doing it. Anyway, this is all about denial. And most world leaders to various degrees and their millions of followers share the trait of denial with millions of their followers. Ain't that the truth? Few in politics and circles of power will tell the world or their people the truth about what may come sooner than anyone can imagine. And we don't want to face that. It's too scary. The imminent collapse of our world's civilization, what we have done to it, may never recover. The evidence is all around us in every direction, in nearly every country. Our predatory, profit-oriented industrial system of mass exploitation and unequal development has trapped us by design, and we cannot escape from it. I'm reminded of what the despairing musician Jim Morrison once sang in his song When the Music's Over, not knowing, as a young upstart in the 60s, what he had come to believe may be destined to happen, and that's for what have we done to the earth, and raped her and ravaged her and done all kinds of really bad shit to her. I had never fully considered how tortured his mind was. Well, yeah, I've read No One Gets Out of Here Alive, and his brain was squirming like a toad. I had never considered how tortured his mind was, and what he had come to fear that led to his own premature death. I think he drank himself to death, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, he was part of the 27 Club. In a world that has filled the oceans with death in the form of plastic bottles and cannot stop doing so, that sends a gazillion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and cannot stop doing so. Just can't do it. Yeah. That has an ecological ignorance that pollutes the land with toxic materials and heavy metals and fails to restore it to health and allow it to degrade and increasingly become unable to provide life-giving nutrients. You know, the things that make stuff, grow. Nutrients, nutrition, that sort of thing. So already I've heard that produce has way less nutrients than it used to. That is plagued by billions of cases of cancer, caused to a large degree by our very way of life. You think so? That has clung to patriarchy throughout the last 5,000 years and used murder, terror, intimidation, racism, and war to preserve itself. All the great humanitarian values that we all share as Homo sapiens. That still maintains most of the world's people in abject poverty, has fought countless never-ending wars that no doubt have killed billions. And not to mention a million other things. Death, I mean, it's just all about death. We live in a death culture. The oceans will rise 10 feet by the end of the century. How many of us are aware of this? Before disregarding this rant as overly negative and even paranoid, consider that most scientists are on record that it will occur in the blink of an eye in terms of planetary history, with the oceans rising at least 10 feet, covering most major city ports in every country on the globe, not to mention devastation climate change and storms will bring. Even if we halted all CO2 pollution today, yes, we know it will keep going for hundreds or maybe thousands of years before the planet can hope to recover. I'm reminded when I awoke from a 12-year Catholic school slumber and got a draft notice and was targeted for Vietnam. Replaying in my head was 60s rock star Grace Slick of the Jefferson Airplane singing, "When the truth is found to be lies, and all the joy," you know that one, when inside of you dies. Just as true today and even more urgent. Well, you can't argue with that. Planetary socialism. Oh, here we go. Planetary socialism. You can't get two people to agree on something. What makes you think you could have planetary socialism? And if you did, it'd be the worst damn dictatorship anybody had ever seen. Sorry, this is crap. I'm sorry, I picked a bad article to read to you, but I just thought it was in the scariness quotient that, and I was trying to be scary because Halloween's coming up and everything's spooky in the world right now with little diseases rolling around in the universe, and you're afraid to go outside, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. I had my plans rudely interrupted earlier at the beginning of the summer, and we had planned to move, and for various reasons that became impossible to do. So while we were preparing to move, I had to clear out all kinds of stuff and rent a storage locker. I didn't know that I would be paying for the damn thing for months because I didn't have anybody to help me take it out, and when I put it in, but anyway, it's a long story. However, I did notice that there's these huge storage locker places, and people just this is where you put your stuff that you don't know what to do with. And it made me realize that if there's a whole industry of storing crap, right? People have so much stuff that there's no room to stuff any more of their stuff in, and we're worried about Christmas and not getting our quota of Chinese crap. Probably made by Uyghur slaves, but that's another story. Why go there? Why go anywhere? I'm beginning to not want to go anywhere anymore. I just want to crawl up into my little ball and go. It's scary time. Everything's scary, okay? It doesn't matter. And it's real things to be afraid of. It's not just paranoia, right? It's like this shit's real. But anyway, that's the scary Halloween thing.